I want to do a quick video on palladium. I think palladium is probably going to do nearly as good as silver, and probably in the long run it's going to be a metal that's going to greatly appreciate in the value. This year it's done bad. It was up to $850 an ounce. It's down to I think currently it's 646 on a spot price. So it's had it's a significant drop. Well, it depends on when you got in there. You can invest in it physically, or you can use an ETF. It's probably good to do a little bit of both, to tell you the truth. I think I'm more in physical, but I do both. This PALL is the physical palladium ETF. It's been around not that long. It's actually been around since 2010, and actually since I think it was the beginning of 2010 that palladium's been recognized officially as a precious metal. Before that, I think it was just an industrial metal. But I just want to repeat again that most of the palladium comes from Russia, and they had a large amount of stockpiles for many years because with Russia, they get their palladium from producing as a byproduct of producing nickel. Okay, so they were stockpiling it for a number of years. I forget how many years, but it was in 1989 that Ford Motor Company came up with palladium as being needed for catalytic converters. Palladium is actually a good purifier in other things too. So then Russia was able to sell at a market for the product, and since that time they've been taking some out of their stockpiles. But as of a couple years ago, I think it's 2009. From what I know, their stockpiles are done. Okay, they're pretty much done. And you're looking at the palladium supply of the world every year has been diminishing as a percentage from Russia. They're still the biggest supplier. They're 42-44% now, with South Africa second at 40%, and about 10% coming from North America, which is Stillwater in the USA, which Stillwater is actually mainly owned by the Russians. Go figure. I think it was George W. Bush that arranged that or allowed that to happen or whatever. But they're majority stockholder. And North American Palladium in Canada. What I think is, well, I want to point out something about the metals in general. Gold is very much a more liquid metal, and that's one reason why I'm saying liquid. In fact, that you can get cash for it a lot easier than any other metals. Silver, it's true, but it's a smaller market. Relatively speaking, it's a smaller market. Now you're looking at palladium, it's even a smaller market than that. So, and I have a tendency to think that palladium is going to be more price volatile than anything, probably in the next couple of years. So, I don't even know what it's going to do this year. I actually expect it to go, have quite a bit of jump up. And I want to point out something. I know they raised the margin requirements. I think it was like yesterday, September 26th. And gold, silver, and copper, especially in silver, and they're about 15 to 18% of the price of silver. Palladium margin requirements are about 3%. Now, everybody was wondering, why did gold go down, silver go down, and palladium went down, a larger percentage than gold over the last week. And they're saying it's because of the margin requirements. Well, palladium didn't have any increase in margin requirements, and neither did platinum, and they both took big hits, especially palladium. So I guess they say it's a need for liquidity, but somehow I don't buy that. Selling precious metals because you're scared of the euro. I think you'd be selling euro stocks and getting out of the euro, not getting out of your precious metal. So I'm just going to give you a stupid answer, okay? Somehow I don't buy the spot price coming down like that. Somehow I think that was toyed with, just like a lot of people suspect. It can be knocked down and it can be knocked back up. That's why you got to be patient. You're never going to freaking guess these type of things unless you're on the inside and you got a signal. I'm just going to be bluntly honest about it. That's what I think happens. So that's why I wasn't really worried about this. I think all these metals are going to be way higher by the end of the year, before the end of the year. But getting back to palladium, it is a purifier. and it's used in hydrogen production to a great deal. That is something I think is going to come on with alternative energy very strongly, because there's going to be new methods of producing electricity. I mean, it could be solar, but it could be other devices. And I know that even that today, there's experimental solar houses that exist. They're not experimental. I mean, they're just maybe one of a kind. And what they do with the excess solar energy is they store hydrogen with it, and it goes into cells. Now, normally, I mean, you don't have to have it in a fuel cell that purifies it, but you could. And that's what palladium does. When hydrogen passes through or goes into palladium, and palladium will absorb 900 times its volume of the hydrogen, but it purifies it. And I don't think, well, actually, these technologies do exist right now. They're actually more experimental, because you know solar is very expensive. But I'm saying is, if there's ways to produce electricity, which there may be, in excess, a good way to store that excess energy is in hydrogen, and that's where palladium comes into being. Another thing is that palladium is used in jewelry, but it's hard to work the metal. They're finding better ways to work the metal, so it's becoming more and more popular in China and India. I think the Chinese and Indians are actually investing very heavily in palladium, and they buy it just for jewelry and just as a store of wealth. And right now, it's been a recent change, actually, since I think it's January 2010, that's officially recognized as a precious metal. It's brand new to palladium. So this stuff is so new that it might take a few years, but I think this stuff is going to be something that's going to hold up and go appreciating in value for a number of years. It has a wide variety of uses like silver. The main use obviously is in catalytic converters. Again, it's a purifier, but it's usually used in the gasoline engines, and platinum is more for the diesel engines and converters, but they're finding ways to make catalytic converters for diesel engines with palladium. I just want to point out that in 2008, the worldwide car production went down. Okay, now that's related to palladium, because palladium, I think about half of it goes into automobiles. Now you saw that price drop, but really it has nothing to do with the fundamentals so much as in production. It has to do with, I'm going to say, psychology. A big scare, because some of the biggest price drops just happened due to fear of markets, and that's really when you should be buying. People will get all excited about a product going up, 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 and then they jump in. It's another reason to maybe be a little bit careful with silver. I don't think it's anywhere near the top, and I think right now is a great buying opportunity. But say it goes to $75 or $100 an ounce. Be careful. I mean, be ready for a psychological dip, because I think it would come. The same thing with any of these metals, but I think right now you're going to find that this metal is going to be coming up from behind at one point in time, and it's going to be a real surprise and take people by surprise. It is just a little bit too rare. It's in production numbers. The production numbers between palladium and platinum are almost the same thing. Platinum is slightly less. There's not much of a difference. And there's as far as the Russian stockpile is being depleted, that's true. But I just want to point out there's another stockpile in Zurich, Switzerland that they have that they're not releasing until the price gets up to a certain point, and that's when they're going to release it. I have not forgotten where I read this, but there is not like a complete shortage yet, but I would almost think there is going to be, because of the new technology that's going to come out, and the Chinese and the Indians are buying this. The Indians are buying platinum and over gold, and especially because the price is below. And I tell you the truth, I don't trust this spot price for nothing. Somehow I don't think this is going to last. Where you're talking platinum is less than gold. That is, I just can't see it. I just can't see that lasting. And like I said, I think everything is psychology. These, Right now, if you can get these products, as far as the rounds, I would go for the bars and the rounds to where they're, they're marked from Credit Suisse. I like the coins, but to tell you the truth, I don't have any of the coins because I would be almost scared to pick up something like that and think it's silver. It looks too damn much like silver, except it's smaller. So I have all my palladium in these type of bars like this from Credit Suisse with the serial number on it. But as far as in the future, China's production of cars is going up and up and up and up. And as the new technology comes on in hydrogen production, which I know it is, it's already coming on, there's going to be more uses for palladium. I totally do not trust this spot price. I don't think it's going to sit there at that level for very long.